and veterans, but it really doesn't because, like, even like Sacramento, I think it was, or something. Like, I forgot which state it was, but they said that it wasn't okay because it's actually raising the rates, and all these older people are saying that it's raising the rates and that they're saying no. And I was thinking, like, in history class, I was like, wait, if the government's supposed to protect your property, that's not even helping anything.
Yeah, yeah. They're bringing all these people into our country illegally too, and so they're raising money to build affordable homes for them. That is so insane. So we got to start paying attention and fighting back. Anybody else have anything you want to deal with that happened in your life you want to ask me about, personal stuff? Yes, Raymond.
Okay, a very interesting situation happened to me a few weeks ago. I was in an accident, although I'm dealing with the insurance company on the situation, that's not the main issue of it. What I learned when I took my car in to an auto shop to have it assessed to see how much it costs for the damages, they say it would be better if I just buy a new car, and they may be right, because I had this car for 14 years. This car is technically 30 years old, and perhaps it may be a blessing in disguise. It was wrecked.
I can't do anything about that. You have to work that out with the insurance company.
Of course, that's why I say I realize it may be a blessing in disguise that may for me to do what it takes. Maybe do what it takes to find a way to get a new car and like other things.
Did you claim that your neck hurt too?
No, I did not.
Oh man, you missing out. Every time I have an accident, and they just chop the car in the back. Oh. No, I'm kidding. I remember though, years ago when I was in a fallen state, I used to have an accident every year. And somebody would always hit me every year. And then one year I decided, you know what, I don't want an accident this year because I felt like I'm gonna get killed or something, right? And so that year I didn't have one, and I haven't had another one since. But somebody was hitting me, I was not hitting them. But I would have them every year. I was in this mode-like thing. Isn't that something? Oh, he does that too? You have them every year?
He was.
Any more you used to?
I used to have a couple of years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because my parents, so my first car, I totaled it. My father bought me a brand new Infiniti afterwards. I totaled the Infiniti, he bought me a Range Rover. I totaled the Range Rover, he bought me an Acura. Finally, once I woke up, I said, I don't want a car. It was a big deal. So I bought a 91 pickup truck.
You bought it yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, it was a gift. We fixed it up.
And that's why his parents buy him all these cars. No wonder you have an accident.
My whole family was mad at me for driving, they call the Mexican car.
What was it?
There was a Nissan pickup.
Oh.
It's an old, beat-up pickup. No AC, no power, nothing.
That's amazing, man.
But that was my first car, and I didn't have any accidents, no tickets after that.
No wonder you're so spoiled.
I was.
Did you know he was so spoiled?
Oh, yeah.
Man, and you still want him?
Well, he was.
No, he still is.
No, his parents help a lot.
They do?
Pretty much completely now. But
I've caught all of it.
Oh, good. That's good, man.
Years now.
Yeah, right. So, yes, Brenda.
I want to know what, I'd love to hear what you think dreams are for. Like, what are dreams really doing? I tend to have a lot of dreams about work, like going back over things that I did a long time ago and trying to get out of the same mess that I had at that time, and that was years ago. And it's like, why can't I get over that and move on? Why am I having these old dreams?
That's a good question. We talked about dreams last week, I believe. I don't know how to interpret dreams or all that kind of stuff, but what I do realize, because Satan pretends to be God, and he's imitating God, and so I think a lot of that is happening when you're dreaming, because what I notice is that God tends to reveal things to us. Even when you're asleep, he will reveal to you, but Satan will put it in a dream. And when God reveals something to you, whether you're sleeping or awake, it's real clear, and you don't even need another person to interpret it. It's very, very clear. And so unless it's clear to you, I wouldn't pay it much attention, because it could be worried about something, or afraid of something, or maybe overate before laying down, or it could be a reaction to that. But one thing for sure, whether you're in bed sleeping or you're awake walking around, whenever God reveals things to you, there's no doubt about it. You don't have to go to another person to ask what it means or anything. So I wouldn't give that a lot of play. And I know there are a lot of people out there interpreting dreams, but I don't know. 'Cause I know whenever I overeat candy yams and collard greens, I tend to dream. I'm like, oh, that was so good, Grandma. But I wouldn't pay a lot of attention to it. Yes, Brenda. Cheryl.
She brought up, so I didn't have anything, but then she brought up stuff about things that happened in the past. But I guess what's going on with me is, like, my mother passed away about 1.5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I could, how do I explain? Like, I could see the connection, but I want the connection broken.
The connection with your mother and you?
Yeah, like just it's kind of hard to explain. Like memories and stuff, but I see that, I need to go forward and like be myself. It's kind of hard to explain. I go forward and be myself, and I realize that, or I think I realize that it's not the relationship with people. Like, we always want a relationship with somebody else.
Right.
But it's my relationship with God. Like, I might have to be alone, but I have to have God.
You feel like even though your mother's dead, you're still connected to her?
No, just the memory. Like, you have memories or things come up, and that
Give
just
me
may be
a quick example of what you mean, because I'm not understanding the question.
Okay, this is a good one. I was looking for something, and I opened up, like in the cabinets or whatever, and I opened up a box. And it said, for Cheryl Ann, and my mother called me Cheryl Ann. So it was just like, for Cheryl Ann. And she had wrote out like this history. I didn't look at it, because I kind of don't want to go, I kind of don't want to go back. I kind of want to be done. I mean, it's over, it's done.
Right.
But for some reason, like, the memories may come up or stuff like that.
I don't understand it.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah. Do you trip out when you think of her?
No, I try not to, because
you start cursing?
No.
That old mean-ass woman.
No, she wasn't mean. As a matter of fact, I think the devil kind of like condemns me, because sometimes I wasn't always good. So I think about, like, you should have been better.
With her?
Yeah, like to her, or
yeah, don't pay attention to that.
Yeah, or like, like on the way here, I have to pass by where she's buried. Like, there's a big Inglewood cemetery, so I pass by there. And I know people will go like, hi, Mom. And I think that's so, like,
that's
no.
dumb.
Yeah.
If you're riding in a car with someone and they're driving by a cemetery and they go, hi, Mom, you have them park the car and let you out right away.
So I think the devil kind of like brings up.
Yeah, Satan's busy.
Yeah,
he
like
really
he's busy.
Yeah, he get involved with everything.
Yeah, and it's like, I realize that, like I said, I may have to be alone, but that's okay. But as people, it's natural that we want to be with somebody else.
It's a natural, unnatural thing.
Right.
State of being.
Because the real thing is being with God, or like trying to be in a relationship with God.
Yes. That should be first.
Right.
And then all things will be added unto you.
Right.
If you desire to be around people, if you're longing for love, or you feel lonely and all that, it's because you're not connected to the life source. And that's why he says, seek first the kingdom of God and his right way, and all things will be added. So those are signs that you don't have perfect peace. And if you see it, don't trip out. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
It's enough just to see it.
Right. I mean, and sometimes I don't know why I feel the way I do. Like, and I remember when you say, like, just just see it or you just relax into it.
Yes.
Because like my niece texted me, and for some reason I was like I don't even know. I was like, why are you getting angry? She's just being nice and like.
So she
reaching
texted
out.
you. You got angry at the text.
Yeah, it was like I noticed it.
What a mean aunt.
I know. I'm not.
Aunt Shirley is not friendly.
I mean, I got over it. I saw it, and I was
Yeah,
like, that don't be
that's
like
beautiful.
that.
Yeah.
But, and we texted back, and I'm going to go visit her and stuff. But I just didn't know why I felt that way.
Right. If you don't know, don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's enough to see it. And don't let Satan tell you why.
Okay.
You don't need to know everything.
Right.
When it's time to know, it will be revealed.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't worry. Don't fill in the blanks.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. So is Joelle here? Oh, hey, Joelle. So I come in this morning, and lo and behold, he has a cap on. And I'm like, that's interesting. And he has good hair. He's not going bald. And so there's no reason for him to have a cap on. I'm like, why do you have a cap on? Oh, I just decided to go over to Compton, or wherever he's from. Where you from?
Glendora, not Compton.
All the black people from Glendora all of a sudden.
Like Glendale for black people?
Right. And he's like, oh, I just decided to wear, and so I didn't say anything else. I'm just waiting until time for church to start. And I said to him, so what are you going to do? What did I say, Joe? Get him the mic, Esteban. Yeah.
You said something, you're like, are you going to take it off now, or are you going to wait for me to put you on blast during church?
And why was I going to put you on blast?
You said what? Say it again?
What was my reason for putting you on blast?
Because
Oh, now you take his off.
I'm taking on and on.
Oh, okay.
you said no man got no right wearing no hat in church.
Oh, okay. And so Joelle is a businessman. He's on the radio, and people look up to him. And I'm sorry, guys, but men don't wear hats in the buildings. Remember those good old days? Sorry. And I asked him, are you going bald? He said, no. So I don't know why he decided to wear this hat all of a sudden. Can you tell me why? You just ride down the road one day and said, oh, you need a hat?
No. I don't know. I just wanted to wear it today. I had no specific reason. I just wanted to wear it.
So nothing influenced you?
No.
And he has good hair. Can you let them see? No, I'm kidding. But, I like for men and women to be examples, you know what I'm saying? And when you go to the building, why have a hat on? Unless you hide something. Am I wrong about this? Somebody tell me I'm wrong. Oh, good. No, you don't disagree with me?
It might rain in here, I guess.
Am I wrong about that?
Not at all.
Oh, good. Yeah. Am I wrong? So why do you wear hats in buildings? Are you going bald? I've never seen your head. Oh, you're not going bald?
Well, I just like hats, I guess.
Right, so much you can't take it
The
off
sun's
in the
shining
building?
in my face over here.
So you like them so much you can't take them off when you walk in the building?
I don't know. I guess I don't think about it.
Oh, okay. Just imagine what would happen to the country if we as men and women of God did it different than the world. The impact that will have for the good. It would change everything just like that. Because we've been so corrupt by the children of the lie. Men having sex with women before marriage, or women having sex with men before marriage, living together before marriage, having babies. All it's doing is just creating problems. It's not making things better at all. And the reason they corrupt you is because they want to control you. You can't not control a moral people or person. You have to corrupt them. And once you corrupt them, you can make them do anything you want them to do. Have you noticed that? And that's why they corrupt the children. They do it really fast, because otherwise, how can they control you? So we got to be the light of the world and salt of the earth. We got to come back to being right. Being right. Yes, ma'am. And then I come to Brenda. Yes.
When you mentioned the thing about the hat, it resonated with me a lot because I was influenced, I'm not going to lie. I was watching the show Mad Men a few years ago.
Yeah.
And even though the main character was like a philanderer, he still pulled out his wife's chair. They still didn't wear hats inside.
That's right.
They were very chivalrous. Like, I walk around or drive around LA, and it seems like it's not a big deal, but when I see women walking on the outer side of the sidewalk,
Yes.
it kills me.
Yes.
And it's like the guy will have his arm around her and stuff, like he's protecting her, and I'm like, but you're not. Put her on the inside.
That's right.
You know? So I just wanted to ask, like, what is that? Because I've talked to men my age about it, and they refuse. They're like, no, I don't understand. It doesn't matter what side of the street we're on. And, you know, but there's like older guys that get it.
Right.
So,
when I'm walking down the sidewalk with a woman, it feels weird for me to be on the inside. It doesn't even feel right. It feels like beta.
it looks
You know?
like, it does. To me, when I see it, I say, okay, that guy's not all the way there because he's not aware of what's going on.
What it
you
is,
know?
the parents have not set a good example. That's what has happened because everything starts in the home. And if you're not getting that good example in the home, we go out into the world suck you up and just take you down the road, right? But if we have fathers and mothers who are living that way, because kids look at their parents and see what to become, but it's not happening in the home. Even when I see men, when they are riding with a woman, they're driving with a woman, they'll make her walk around to the door by herself. Don't even open the door or anything.
Yeah, that's true.
And just say, hey, get in. Don't even tell her to get in.
Or some women, honestly speaking, some women will tell men, get out of the way, I can do it.
Yeah.
And like I saw it
Man,
this
I would
morning.
dump her.
No, I saw it this morning though, and it was so funny because it was an older couple, an older black couple actually. So it made sense to me, but the guy, like the wife was in such a rush, she was going from the back of the car to the front of the car, just going all over the place. And then she was moving so fast, he was on the same side of the car with her, and she opened the door so quick and just jumped in.
Yeah.
I saw him jerk forward because he was going to open the door for
Yes.
her. And I thought, wow, I wish I could get somebody to do
That's
that,
right.
to jump to open the door.
That's right.
I thought it was just interesting, and I just don't know with your stance on it, like how do we get men to understand that that is an alpha thing to do?
By getting them to wake up. Once I've noticed that even with myself, when I overcame that anger and returned back to God, my values changed. And so everything started to fall in place for you. But because they didn't get it at home, when men and women wake up, when they overcome that anger, you see how to really live and how to treat others. And it's so amazing. But you got to wake up to see it. You don't even have to tell men and women how to vote, because once they wake up, they're going to vote their values. They're not, it doesn't matter. They're going to see what's going on. They'll vote based on values. They see what to do. But you got to wake up.
So can you start like a class or something for men to, no, I'm serious, because it is really something that I know I want in my partner.
Yes.
But I'm telling you, these guys that are in their 30s, they're not doing it.
All right.
They're not doing
work on
it. So work on them, please.
We definitely will. Yes. Yes, Brenda.
I was just
I came to you. You had your hand, but did I come to you already? Yeah. I didn't come to you yet? Oh, okay. Sorry about that, man. Go ahead, Brenda.
So I believe what's happening is that there's this homogenization of men and women, that everybody's supposed to be the same. The
Yes.
men are supposed to be like the women are supposed to be like the men. So it used to be, back in the day, that women could wear their hats, they could wear them inside, they could wear
Yes.
them at church, but that made them different from men. So the men started saying, well, if I've got to kind of give on this, then
Wow.
by God, I'm going to be able to wear my hat inside like a woman can. And so it's
That's amazing.
it's like
Beta.
I think we're losing the differentiation
It
that
is.
men
We
are
are.
different from women.
Yeah.
Women are different from men, and they shouldn't all do the same things. And to her point about the guys don't know how to do it, part of the reason is that the women have said, get out of the way, I'm going to open my own door. I don't need you to pull my chair out for me.
Yeah.
And so the poor guy is getting these mixed messages
Yeah.
of,
That's happening.
am I supposed to do it or not? Because some girls will tell me I can do my own door, and others will stand there and wait on you to open the door. So I think it's a mixed message place.
Even when you're coming out of a building nowadays and a woman is either coming in or going out, you're not sure if you should hold the door open for her. That at one time was never a second thought.
Right.
It's just polite to hold the door open anyway, no matter
Anyway.
who it is.
And I say
But-
thank you. If some guy stands there and waits so the door doesn't slam me in the face, I smile and I say thank you. And I
That's
figure
right.
a little positive reinforcement can't hurt. And I hope you can find a guy that'll be nice to you. But I think my sons open the doors and, you know, do as much as they can. But
That's right.
But there is a lot of negative reinforcement for guys that open doors and
Yeah,
wear hats.
it's so amazing. That's why I say it's okay to be a man. Let's just be. Don't let them tell us we can't be a man. All right, be a man anyway. Just be a man. Be a man. And it's okay to be white. Be white. It's okay to really. It's okay to be white. Isn't that something? Yes, sir. And then I come here and over there.
Okay, real quick,
Oh,
I
okay.
just wanted to mention something about you and your dreams.
No.
Both of you, actually. I did a little bit of a study on what makes the mind dream a little bit, but I'm not discounting your feelings at all or anything like this when I
Stop
say this.
apologizing.
But
Be a man. And be white.
but her feelings are real, though. They are. And I, in the study I did about the brain and what happens when you're sleeping is that as you sleep, your brain shrinks. That's one thing that happens to your brain. And then you go through like a neural repair, which means all the little wires in your brain are getting fixed. And then while your brain is shrinking, it's taking the toxins out of your brain. So all that happening at once could cause you to think certain ways that you would normally not think when you're wide awake.
Interesting.
And had
So
a good
now
meal.
when someone asks me, I'm going to say, you have a small brain.
So but yeah.
That explains
So
it.
that might explain sometimes when you know your brain is repairing itself, so it puts itself in certain states so that the repair could occur, and sometimes those states are completely make no sense because your brain is just wanting to do what it needs to do to fix things. And so
Amazing.
that might be an explanation as to why we have these sometimes at night wacky thoughts. It's the brain fixing itself.
All right. Small brain. So let me do this because there's something else I want to get to. So I got to move a little faster. Right here, over there in the corner, and then Mary.
I had a question about real fast. Two things I noticed about manners and, you know, taking the hat off. Like, you know, I grew up with this, but one, the culture here kind of beat it out of me in a way. It became pointless in a way.
Yeah.
Second, most kids here in liberal places here, New York, you name it, they don't learn this. It's not that they
The
don't
mic
know
not on?
manners, they don't
Hold
know
on a minute.
manners.
Is the mic not on, Bill?
Mic's not
Oh,
It's on now.
it's on there? Okay.
Yeah, they don't know manners. It's not that they don't have manners.
Oh,
it's just
okay.
they don't know they exist.
Yeah, because the parents have let them down.
I was in New York. A lady yelled at me, old lady in the subway, for offering her a seat. She said, "I don't need a man to give me a seat."
Wow.
You know, stuff like that.
Did you curse her out?
No, I just sat back down.
Oh, okay.
I said, "Suffer."
All right.
I had a question.
Yes. You said suffer?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because she was struggling.
So you said, okay, suffer.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
You know how you talk about we should be in the present?
Yes.
And the past and the future don't exist?
Right.
One, so sometimes we go, everybody does it most of the time, especially in a fallen state, where you go back to the past more than the future, and you dwell on memories, and usually they're bad memories. When that happens, does that mean whatever that memory is associated with, you haven't forgiven, or?
That's a good question.
And also, how do we, when we catch ourselves like having the past affect us a lot, or the future, how do we kind of overcome that and realize that the present is more important?
That is such a good, everybody heard that? It's really a good question. This young man want to respond first. How do you respond to his question? Did you hear his question?
Yeah, how do you forget about the memory?
Yeah, he's like, when you go into the past,
Right.
How do you deal with that? How do you deal with
How do you realize the importance of the present?
How do you realize the importance of the present when you're locked in the past?
Deep breathing. I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Do you ever go to the past?
Sure.
And what do you, speaking to the microphone?
Yes,
what
I
do you
do.
do when you go to the past?
What do I do when I go to the past? I try and focus on my surroundings, I guess. I dwell on God. I dwell on positive things.
And does that help?
Yeah, if
In
you
what
believe
way?
it.
In what way?
Well, you got to figure out what you believe, and if you believe the past is more or less something trying to control you and not empower you, then you'll be led to what's true.
Is this your first time here?
Yes.
How old are you?
26.
Oh, really? You
Yes.
seem so younger. I thought you were younger. That's why I
No.
asked.
Okay.
I don't normally ask old people how old they are. And so, how did you find us?
My mama.
Your mama. And what did she say to you to get you to look at it? What did she say?
You know, she just is. She goes from one YouTube channel to the next. She doesn't trust anybody. You know.
She doesn't trust anyone?
Yeah, but you know, you resonate with her, so you know, I started listening to your show a bit, and
What do you think about it?
it's a good
On your
message.
own, what do you
I
think
suppose it's a good message. Yeah.
Oh, it is? And what is the primary message?
Good and evil. It between each person.
Yeah.
It runs through us.
That's right, man.
Everything else is kind of
Yeah. That's why you can't blame anyone for your problem. Now, we forgive our parents for, being weak and setting us up, but once we do that, you literally can't blame anyone else for whatever you have to go through. You really can't.
right.
And only weak men and women would do that.
Right.
Have you forgiven, did you go and forgive your mother for what she did to you?
I can't say I ever forgave her.
Why not?
Because she didn't do anything to me.
She was perfect?
No.
Up here lying. He said, no, she wasn't perfect. And so did you forgive her for those things that she was not perfect in?
I guess not, no.
Why not?
I keep those things more to myself.
Why?
Because life is very distracting, and you find ways to distract yourself.
Well, why do you want to live that way? You're 27, right?
Well, it's not
Why
that
do
I
you wanna
want
do-
to go to work, but I have to.
It's not what?
It's not that I want to go to work, but I have to.
Oh, why don't you want to go to work?
Oh my.
Beta! Why don't you want to go to work, man?
Work?
Don't ever let anyone else hear you say that.
Okay, I don't.
Did you say I don't want to go to work, but I have to?
That's right.
And why
That's
don't
right,
you
sir.
want to go to work?
Well, because it's not my skill set. It's a job that's working towards what I want to do.
Well, why not still treat that as though it is your thing? Because it's a blessing to be able to have a job. And it might not be what you want to do yet, but if you have a good attitude about it and appreciate it, it will lead to what you want. Why not be grateful to have a job?
I think I am.
Are you a millennial?
I don't subscribe to that.
But for my sake.
Sure, yeah.
Millennials are some of the selfish people I ever met. Have you ever seen them? They are like spoiled, and then they are so into themselves, they can't even appreciate anyone else's work and accomplishments. Have you noticed that? We have millennials working for us now, and so sometimes I think, I tell them, wow, John Doe did an excellent job on this project. I'm running all over the office. Look at it, it's so nice, right? And everybody else goes, yes, it's really nice. And the millennial barely looks at it. And one millennial said, oh, it's not me, it's not mine, I didn't do it. I'm like, what is wrong with you? But they're very selfish, into self. Am I right?
Sure, yeah.
And how did that happen to you?
How did that happen? God only knows.
Speak into the mic for me.
I don't really know. If I thought about it, I could give you some examples, maybe. You know,
how did you become
iPhone,
a selfish millennial?
How did I become a selfish millennial? Gosh, that's a good question. I think growing up, it was somehow I was convinced that how I was perceived was more important. This is just me personally.
Right.
More important than what I was putting out.
Really? That
Maybe
is
that's
something else. I
you know what
believe
mean?
that.
Yeah.
And who convinced you of that?
Yeah.
It was special.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Do you have any ideas?
Yes.
Who?
Parents.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I hear parents, male and female parents, this is not just with the female parents, they're always stroking their kids. They always say, oh, you're good. I'm so proud of you. Even if they have to correct them on something, they would say, oh, that was awful, but you were good at this. I'm like, what is going on here? That's not how you correct people. The good is already taking care of itself. If they are bad at something, you say, you know, you were terrible in that. You don't have to say, but you were good with this. My grandparents never said that to me. When they told me I was wrong, you were wrong, I don't know what's wrong with you, you better get it right. They didn't say, but you were good in this. Because if one side of my body is healing already, I don't need you to tell me about that. If I go to the doctor, I don't want the doctor to tell, I'm going for my left arm. He said, oh, this left arm is really messed up, but this right one is good. Doctor, I don't need you to tell me that. I already know that. But that comes from parenting. They don't know how to they don't want to hurt their kids' feelings. They don't want the kids to feel any pain. I had someone close to me tell me that he hated when people stroke him, and he know he did not earn it. He hates it, and he's still a teenager. And I know how he feels about that. He's like, I don't like it when people stroke me, and I know I didn't do well, I'm wrong about something. And you're making kids hate you for that. Because they know, absolutely know. So that's where it started. Were you raised by your father and mother? You were?
Yes.
And then they stroke you like, oh, you're good, you know, with this, but bad with this kind of thing? Do you still live
moderate. They were moderate. I wouldn't say that they were overly stroking.
Yeah, forgive them for being moderate.
Okay.
All right? They should have let you feel pain, work through things. While growing up, you'd be a stronger man today for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how we grow, by suffering through things, figuring things out. It's okay to feel pain.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Can you forgive your father and mother for doing that to you?
Mm-hmm.
Tell your mother.
You're forgiven.
You're forgiven. So you still live with your mother?
No.
You on your own?
Oh, yeah.
Good, man.
Mm-hmm.
You have a job?
Mm-hmm.
I can't hear you.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Appreciate that job. Really, be happy for it.
Yeah.
I used to clean toilets.
Yeah.
I had wanted to start my own business. I didn't have enough money to do what I really wanted to do. So I started a janitorial service. I had the same attitude that I have about what I do now.
Mm-hmm.
Really. God gave you that job, be grateful, and treat it as though it's your own business. Because one day you will have your own thing.
Right.
And so you're learning how to be now by dealing with this moment correctly. And then it's changing your whole character. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Any questions for me? You. What's your first name again?
Oh, Kyle.
Kyle, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions for me?
A lot of questions, but I can't think of any of them right now.
You can't think of one? Anything you disagree with me on that you've seen in the videos or anything?
What do I know? Yeah.
So what?
Sorry, I don't know.
Okay, give it to your sister. That's your sister?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Well, I disagree a little bit because I feel like my parents were not at all like that. I mean...
So he's lying?
No. No, but...
Why are you disagreeing?
Well, if anything, if I did anything good, it's not that they didn't say that they were proud of me, but they were definitely not the ones to say, oh, you did so great in that, you're the best, blah, blah, blah. They were never like that. And even on, social media nowadays, parents are constantly bragging about their kids.
Yeah.
And my parents never, ever did that. And I think it's a good thing.
Are you the oldest?
No.
You're not?
There's 6 of us. I'm
Really?
the 5th. Yeah.
At least you guys have a lot of babies. Thank you. It's okay to have white babies. We need white babies. And so maybe that happened to him. Maybe it didn't happen to you. Is that possible?
Maybe.
Yeah, so he's dealing with himself.
Well, I was the good child, so maybe they tried to praise him more when he did something good.
You were the good child. So you conformed and he rebelled.
Yes.
That's the weak child. Isn't that right? That's the weak child. Because in the families, you have kids who conform to the pressure that come from the parents, most of the time from the mothers, and then you have those who rebel. And then the guy or daughter that's rebelling look like the bad guy. I like dealing with all people, but I prefer to deal with the one that rebelled because they saw what was wrong. They just didn't know how to deal with it, rather than the one that conformed because they don't have the courage to stand up and be honest and speak up and deal with it. Because they're too afraid. They go along to get along. They don't want to hurt your feelings because they don't know how to handle your overreaction to them. And so it's best, don't rebel, but it's best to be the one that's rebel rather than conform. What do you think about that? Is this your first time here?
I can't say I agree with that, but.
This your first time here?
Yes.
Are you able to speak up?
If I have a strong conviction about something, sure.
It has to be a strong conviction?
Yeah.
Are you able to speak up without being angry?
Yeah.
You are? Okay. Any questions for me? What's your first name?
Stephanie.
I'm glad you're here, Stephanie. Any question, anything you disagree with me about?
No, to be honest, I don't know a whole lot about.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you came. If something pop up while you're here, let me know.
Yeah.
All right. Is this your first time? This is not your first time here, right? Oh, it is. This is the mother, right?
Long-time listener, first time here.
Well, I'm glad you brought them. Can you let her have the mic? Any questions for me? Tell me your first name.
Tina.
Tina, any questions for me?
No, not really. I just, you're saying about her, but she's my most responsible child. She's the one, she owns her own home, she has a great job, she did well in school, she has a master's degree. She's a very responsible person.
And what happened to the rest of them?
Personality differences.
What happened to the rest of them?
No, the rest of them are well. He was a rebeller.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So, and
he without
like us pushing
too.
him, yes, but without pushing him out, he would still be with us. I said, let's go.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
You put him out.
Yeah.
Your mother loved you. All right? She did you a favor. Well, I'm glad you brought him, and I'm glad you came too. All right. Yes, sir. Oh, I got to answer this question.
No, it was the same question. No,
You're done, right?
he kind of answered it.
Okay, so restate the question because I do want, it's an important question.
I wanted to touch up. I wanted to actually answer his question.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Go ahead, real fast.
His question was about how do we get past the past, essentially?
Yeah,
right?
once you float into the past and you're dwelling on the past, how do you get past that? Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say you have to accept, if it's something that cannot be changed or improved upon or fixed, then you have to just accept that it happened and move on. But if you can right the wrong, then you should try and do that. And I also wanted to comment on something I just learned about you from him. He said that you don't believe that we should focus on the past or the future and just focus on the present.
Yes.
I disagree in that I think we do need to focus on the future, for future of the nation, future of our children, future in general.
Why?
I don't. Because the future matters.
Why?
I'm not quite sure.
But so why do you think the future matters if you don't know why?
Well, I guess it depends. If I'm arguing from like the perspective of, I could make the case that nothing really matters, is what I'm saying.
And that would be a good case.
No, yeah, that would.
I would agree with you with that. Nothing really matters.
So you're a nihilist? You don't believe anything matters?
A what?
A nihilist is someone that believes that.
Where's a nihilist?
Essentially, it's somebody that believes that life has no meaning.
It does have meaning. That's why nothing matters. It's not a big deal.
Okay. Well, I think the future does matter.
And why? Where is the future?
It does. It is just subjective, basically.
Where is the future?
Where's the future?
Yeah.
It's not a. There's no location to it, but.
There's no location?
No,
Well, why does it matter then?
It matters to me.
It matters to you?
Yeah.
God said, take no thought about tomorrow. Tomorrow doesn't exist. Take no thought about yesterday. It no longer exists either, right? Everything that's happening is happening in the present. It's not happening in the past or the future. So when you get caught up in this illusion of the past, it's an illusion. Satan is trying to deceive you. He wants you to think on something so he can draw you back into his world. It doesn't even exist. So when you get into that, just know you lost it in the darkness of your imagination. There is no such thing as a past. Whenever what happened, it happens in the present. And once again, Satan is trying to play God with you. So he wants you to think. And he'll take you what looked like the past, and he'll say, look what you did to that person. You were so nasty and mean. And then you'll judge yourself, and it's all over for you once you do that. But there is no such thing as a past or a future. It doesn't exist at all. And if you notice, God never takes you to a past or a future. Only Satan does that. And it's not even real. So when you get caught up in it, it's only because you believed it to a lie. And just realize it and relax and let it go. Because he even tell you, why are you even taking the thoughts for tomorrow? Today's problems are enough for you. Today is sufficient. Live now and let the next moment take care of itself. It's such a perfect way of living. It's all an illusion. It doesn't even exist. And that's why people judge you. You're waking up and you're overcoming, and now you're being who you really should be, but your friends and family members, your enemies, remind you, oh, I knew when you were a slut. Slut walk. I remember seeing you marching in the slut walk. Or beta. I remember when you were beta. That's not who you are today. You've changed. Old things pass away. All things are new once you wake up. You're not that anymore. But your friends and your enemies will try to make you think that. Forgive them. They know not what they do. I'm telling you, it doesn't exist. That's why people ask me, well, how can you support President Trump? He cheated on his wife. And that's not who he is today. That's not what he's doing now. Only people in a fallen state judge one another. We have no right to judge one another. Even if yesterday this person cursed you out, right? And you see them today, that doesn't mean that's who they are today. Maybe last night they thought about it and they realized they were wrong. But you judge them, you're ready to attack. And the person like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. You know, it's all over with. And so you got to be aware of that.
Yeah. It's just it's hard.
So what?
It's just sometimes you get caught up in it.
Oh yeah, let's get it.
Just sometimes half the day will go by and then I realize I was caught up in the past or
Yes.
whatever.
That's all it is. You're caught up in the darkness of your imagination.
Yeah.
I want you to know Christ came that we might be free. We're supposed to be his sons and his daughters, and we are free, taking no thoughts about anything. He said, bring every thought into captivity. Don't think on anything. Nothing. Don't do it, I'm telling you. Don't think on things, and then don't talk to the devil. How many of you talk to the devil? Yeah. He's like, oh, that food going to give you indigestion. You're like, yeah, that's right. I want to go to this young lady way over here. She had her hand a while back. Yes.
I was just going to respond to what this lady over here was saying about how traditional male roles have kind of disappeared.
Yes.
And I think a great reason for that is because the angry feminists have confused the heck out of all men everywhere. They don't know to talk to the woman. They don't know to answer to open doors.
Right.
They don't know what to do. They're totally confused.
Yeah.
Am I going to offend her by doing something nice? Is she going to yell at me? I just think they're confused.
I have a young lady that works for me, and sometimes she dressed really nice. Not sometimes. She always look nice, right? And so I'm like, oh, you look really nice. Very nice. And she'll say thank you. And I'm like, don't come back 20 years later saying that I molested you or something, you know, sexually assaulted. We shouldn't have to apologize for that. You know, ladies like nice compliments, you know, but they have set it up like that. What do you think happened to a man that a woman can or feminist or whomever can convince him not to be a man? How are you convinced not to be a man? Why do they believe into that?
Why do men believe it? I think probably the media is not helping much with that. You look at commercials.
I know, but if you are already a man, you know what I'm saying, you're male, how is it possible for someone to talk you out of being a male and now you start acting like a woman?
I guess if you get berated enough times about something, you think, well, maybe I shouldn't be that way anymore.
That's amazing.
I thought of a funny solution, and anyone in this room who is in the tech community can run with it. You have a dating app for beta males and angry feminists.
I love it.
And that way, the rest of us don't have to deal with them.
That's right. Very smart. That's right. I love that. Mary, you had a question. I love that. We should get that rolling. My uncle, one of my favorite uncles, he listens to the show all the time, and he's a beta. I know you listen to him, but I like him. And the reason he's my favorite aunt because the rest of them are dead. I only have one left. So I was talking to him yesterday, and he was calling me a beta. Beta! I'm like, what is a beta? He has no idea. But he hears, so now he's calling me that. A beta male! Yes, Mary?
Yes, my comment was on the wearing of hats.
Yes.
And when we grew up, men wore their hats outside.
Yeah.
Women wore hats inside.
Yeah.
And the reason was because when a man is indoors, he's under the aegis of God. Okay, so he's reflecting to that. Women have a lesser role and they're supposed to cover their heads.
Interesting.
That's what we grew up.
Right on. I want that back. Yes, Joelle. Joelle's trying to explain his hat.
No, you see it in like older men, or you see it in movies where when they would greet women, they would take off their hat.
Yes.
And greet women, yeah.
Do you do that?
I'd never wear hats. I just, every once in a while, will wear a hat. And today I wore a hat and you got on me. But I never usually wear hats.
What made you decide to get a hat?
I don't know.
He went way over to where you live. Where you from?
I didn't
Something made you wear a hat.
No, I haven't worn it in a long time, so I just...
So you riding down the road, you're like, I wore my hat in a long time. Let me go to my mama's house and get it.
No. I mean, I had the hat. I just never wore it.
But the hat was in a different location where you live. Miles away. He's shaking his head.
Anyways, I have another question.
Okay.
You're saying about the kids usually or the parents stroke the kids too much growing up?
Yeah.
What is the balance with that? Because kids tend to believe everything so seriously. So when you're honest and straightforward, they tend to take it negatively.
Let them take it that way. As long as you're not angry. See, the problem is now parents are correcting their kids with anger. And so they're traumatizing them. If they corrected them with love, and anyone who has anger has no love, cannot be trusted, has no love. And so parents are correcting their kids with anger. And that's what traumatized them. The kids know, because their soul is innocent, right? And they know that this is not good. And so to make up for it, rather than overcoming the anger, they'll say, oh, you're so good. You're a dummy, but you're smart in this, right? But if they didn't have that anger, they could do it the right way every time. And the kid knows that it's right. Kids hate parents who stroke them all the time.
Right.
Because it put an unnecessary pressure on them. Now you got to be good at everything you do. Because if you're not, you're going to disappoint the parents. And who want to live that way?
How do you build their confidence then?
By overcoming your anger and operating from perfect love. Because kids are not born with a lack of confidence. They are made to be that way because the parents don't have love.
But like, I teach kids, and because I notice that when I'm honest with them, they tend to perform less than when I compliment them or encourage them. But I'm just being honest.
Because that's how they've been trained.
But they don't, right, but they don't take it as me being honest and
Right.
real with them.
That's a setup.
they're
That's so
offended.
unfortunate. Because in the real world, when they become adults, when you go out there to go to work and when you're building your business, folks are not going to compliment you because they're trying to win. They're going to wear you down. If you're not strong enough to deal with that, you're going to lose. So just make sure you have perfect love and you'll see the right way to do it. You can't figure this out. You have to do it in the present, in the moment. But you got to overcome your anger.
Right.
All right? I have employees like that too. I criticize them and they take it so personally. I'm like, what's wrong with you? You're a grown person. Why are you acting this way? It's just about work. I didn't say anything about your mama. You can criticize the work, just disagree with the work. And it's like, why are you doing this? You're always against me. It's just about work. It's not about anything else. But because they're in that fallen state, everything's so personal. But you still have to be honest with them, but don't resent them. All right? I got a situation I need to deal with. Do you have anger? I'm sorry, wait for the mic so we can have you on mic
I feel
live.
like whatever I say, you don't believe me.
No, I believe you. I believe you.
I don't know. Maybe I do.
No, I believe you. Do you have anger? You have anger? You have no anger at all?
Sometimes I do have anger.
So then you do have anger?
Yes.
And where did that come from?
But doesn't everybody have some anger sometimes?
What did that have to do with you? Where did yours come from?
Where did mine come from? Yeah.
Your mother want you to know because she want you free.
Okay.
Otherwise, she would not have you here, believe me.
I don't know.
You don't know? I want you to think about that, though. I want you to get to know yourself. Pay attention to that, okay? And let me know.
Okay, here's one.
Okay.
I get angry because I don't have peace, because I can't figure out the right way, because it's my problem, but I don't have the solution, and it's confusing.
I understand that 100%.
Yeah.
And you're never going to have the peace until you can figure out who you're angry at and forgive them. They couldn't help what they did to you.
Okay.
And the problem, and the reason you don't have the peace is because all angry people are separated from the tree of life, from God, and Satan is their father, and in him there is no peace. And so the reason you're suffering because, yes, it was wrong for what happened to you, but you're judging, so you're wrong for hating them for what they did to you. You resent whatever happened, and that's why you have no peace.
Should I know what happened to me, or is it usually a mystery? 'Cause
No,
I don't
you
have
should
anything
know.
in particular
You should
that I can think
absolutely
of.
see, and you get to know by knowing yourself, paying attention to yourself, and you will see what happened and why you hate them, and you realize they couldn't help it. Then you can go and forgive them. And
What if it's directed at myself? Self-loathing.
do you have that?
Yeah.
And why do you judge yourself like that?
Well, because one is in their heads at all times, so I'm constantly watching my behavior, and I'm not this, or I'm not that, or I'm not competent in this or competent at that.
Yeah,
or
I understand. Stop believing your thoughts. They're all lies. I'm telling you, man, everything.
It becomes a circle.
I'm sorry?
Go ahead. I don't know.
What did you say?
It becomes a circle,
Right.
like circular
Yeah.
thinking.
Because
you're telling me
you're
not to
limited-
believe my own thoughts, but at the same time believe what you're telling me.
But they're not your thoughts.
True.
Isn't that true?
Your thoughts?
They're not mine either. You don't create thoughts.
Okay.
Because let's just think about it. If you were in control of your own thoughts, you will always have good thoughts, right? You would say, "Oh, I'm wonderful. I can walk the mountain." You will always say things to yourself to make you feel good, not make you feel bad. Am I right?
Yeah.
Right.
That's
so
right.
you're not your thoughts, and you're not in control of your thoughts. They're coming from your father, the devil. They're not from God, and they're not from you. And so if you start to doubt them, then you can have peace.
But then I can't believe everything negative is the devil. Or is it?
Why can't you believe that?
Because that's kind of taking the blame off of myself and putting it on something
But
else.
it's not you. It's the God that you serve. You would never do negative to yourself.
Right. Okay.
He's making you judge yourself by telling you, oh, you know, you're not as good,
Right.
you're this or you're that, and you just believe in a lie. You're really fine as you are, but you believe in a lie, and it makes you judge yourself, and that's what the problem is.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I want you to give it a try. Stop believing all thoughts. You're not the creators of thoughts. You're not your own. You're not coming up with that. He's lying to you. He's telling you something bad about yourself, now you're down. And then he'll come back and tell you something good about yourself, now you're up. And as soon as you're up, he comes and tells you something else, and you're back down. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Yeah, doubt that. But you need to get to know yourself so you can overcome his nature. And his nature is anger. It's a dark spirit that made a home in you.
Okay.
Will you give that a try?
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. And don't worry about it now. Just pay attention to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just doubt every thought. I want you to do my silent prayer. I don't know if you must.
I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
I want you, it's silentprayer.video. I want you to start doing it.
Okay.
And you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Because you rebel, your sister's gonna be fine too. But I'm just saying, people who rebel, they tend to catch on really easier.
Okay.
Because they know something is wrong, they just don't know how to overcome it.
Right. Okay.
So do the silent prayer for a week and let me know what you think.
Thank you. Okay.
All right.
Sure.
But you are not your thoughts at all.
Yeah.
Do you find it hard to believe? Just
You're
think
not
about it.
your
You
thoughts.
would never say anything bad about yourself. Why would you make yourself feel bad?
Right. Yeah. Because I don't want to make anyone else feel bad, but it's like myself. I treat like a punching bag.
Right.
I think that's
Well,
a
don't do
common
that.
problem with a lot of people, probably.
I'm sorry?
Might be. It's probably a common problem.
Yeah, a lot of people can't speak up, so they keep it within themselves, and it destroys them. I want you to start speaking up.
Yeah.
All right? But you got to get past this anger so you can do it in the right way. But I want you to start speaking up for yourself. That'll help you feel better, too. Because you're going to hate yourself for not speaking up.
True. Very good.
All right?
Very good.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, wow, so many questions. Let me take James, and then I'll come here. Okay. Yes, James.
Sasha gave a super chat donation.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
She asked, can a romantic man be an alpha, or is he definitely a beta?
Romantic, man. Most romantic men are betas because they're doing it to please, so that they have a hidden agenda. They want to please so they can be pleased. But alpha male, yes, he would romance his girlfriend or his fiance or wife without a hidden agenda. Because a man should treat a woman nice, especially if she's going to be his wife, right? Well, all women really treat people the same, but if you don't have a hidden agenda, that's the way to do it. That makes sense? But most men have a hidden agenda. So ladies, if you're dating or engaged, or if you're married to a beta male, when he takes you out to dinner and he's spending all this money, he buy you a steak dinner and getting you drunk with some champagne, he's waiting to get home. And you're thinking he love you. And the way to find out when you get home, don't do anything. Just say, thank you, honey, for the dinner. It was so nice. Put on your long pajamas. Lock up and see what happens. Then you'll see that he really mean it. All right? So you can test this. Anyway. So what? I know. You guys don't stop donating. I call the guys pothead who smoke pot. And some of them stop donating. See how you can't trust angry people? The moment they disagree with one thing, everything stops. It's amazing. Yes, Jay?
Is there such a thing as an alpha or beta female?
Yes. Women who love what's right, they love their father and mother, they love what's right, and they can speak up. They're not all needy. Oh, you're always at work. You never pay me attention. oh, I'm sick of these kids. That's a beta female. But a woman who loves what's right, she's not in competition with her husband or with men. They love being a wife and a mother. If they're not married, they love being themselves. That's an alpha female. The same principle that applies to men also applies to women. It's no difference. It's just the roles are different. But the principles are the same for men and women. All right? That's why I want women to overcome the anger too. God will forgive you. Let me take here.
Just 2 points and comments I wanted to make. One, I wanted to share something my mom used to tell me when I was a kid. She said, I'm the only person that's ever going to think you're special unconditionally. The rest of the world is going to require extraordinary proof and consistency.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, did you tell her to stop lying? That was a setup.
Was it?
Yeah, huh?
I'm curious.
Because when she said that, it made you as a kid think, oh, mama love me. So now you can't correct her. You got to cater to her. You got to do all that kind of stuff. That was the setup.
Okay.
Sorry to tell you that.
I'll take it like a champ.
Always love my mama.
And secondly, I want to talk about dwelling in the past.
Yes.
I mean, we talk a lot about forgiving your parents, and that's important, obviously. That's why we're out here. But when you're dwelling in the past, you are not forgiving yourself. You're sitting there and you're beating yourself up for mistakes you made, and you can't move forward. And to move forward, you need to make amends with yourself the same way we do with our parents and everybody else.
That's right.
And a part of amends is not repeating the things that hurt us. So you're mad at yourself for something you did that hurts yourself and hurt other relationships. So you beat yourself up and you don't feel like you deserve the next best in life, so you repeat it.
Because you're judging yourself.
Absolutely.
And if you don't judge yourself, you won't repeat it. That is such a good point. Yeah, so now you forgive me for saying what I said about your mama. But you're absolutely right. And that's what Satan wants. He takes you back there so you can judge yourself. And you're just going to repeat this thing over and over and over again. Absolutely. Don't judge yourself. Let me do this. I got to ask this question. So I'm watching this video, and apparently white people, some white people are starting to videotape black people doing wrong. And have you noticed that online? Anybody? It's happening. What? I don't know. I just happened to see it online. I saw one incident where a black guy appeared to have parked at a non-parking, adult park place here. And this white girl was trying to tell him to move it. And instead of the guy moving, he was like, what are you doing video recording me? Why are white people video recording? I happened to just hit it online, on the internet. And she was like, well, you're not supposed to be parked here. You're in the way or something, right? And he just went off about this race thing, racism thing. And so here's what I need feedback about. So there was another white man in Dunkin's Donuts somewhere, and he was on his computer, and there was a line going there. He was in front of the line. And I guess the woman behind him asked him to move, who happened to be a black woman. Or maybe the black worker said to the woman behind him, come on up. She made some kind of smart remark about the white guy. And the white guy went off. He told the person behind him, go ahead. And then he started yelling at the woman that was working, right? Because she must have said something negative to him. It got him angry. And he was like, F you, you effing N-word. I need to say it one time just to get the effect. You fucking nigger. F you. And he would give her the finger, and then she would yell back at him, the worker, right? And they were going at it. It was going at it. And he kept calling her nigger, 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 nigger. He said a lot of times. And then he gave her the finger, then he left the Dunkin' Donut shop. So I'm watching this, and it's being recorded, so I need feedback. Is there anything wrong with that incident? Even though you didn't see it, I'm trying to give you a picture of it. The woman was saying, yo, mama. Well, he would call her the N-word. She was saying, yo, mama. She was saying, so the black woman was, to the white man. And so I watched it a couple of times to see it, really see it. And so who want to comment on that? What's wrong with that picture? All the people of color. A white man. Let me hear from the white man first.
Bring it on. No, what's wrong with that? It's just anger. That's what's wrong with it.
It was just anger?
Yeah, it's just disgusting.
Oh, okay.
Right. Why do you have to be so angry about it?
Okay.
Get over it. Get over yourself, whoever did that.
All right. Mary, right behind there. This is so good.
I think it was a great response because these
Just
people
call her the N-word?
Exactly.
Ooh.
Because these people think that they can just talk to you any old kind of way, say any old kind of thing to the white people, and they're supposed to suck it up and not say anything. And that is wrong.
Okay.
Wrong, wrong, wrong.
What did you say?
That style is not good.
That style is not
I mean,
good?
you can disagree with people, but you don't have to do it in that style. You know?
Why not?
Because there's other ways to do it.
Oh, okay.
Right?
All right. Was it racist?
No, it's just anger.
Oh, okay. All right. I forgot who I saw. I'm going to move real fast. The young lady next to you, she wanted to respond. She's dying to respond.
Sorry.
What happened exactly?
So they were in the Dunkin' Donut.
Yeah.
The man was in line. The white guy was standing in line, but he was on his cell phone. So he was holding up the line. Okay. And the person that's working behind the counter, a black woman, it sounded like a black woman, said something to him. She like, you know, I could hardly hear her, but you could hear him really well. And he got mad at whatever she said, right? And he just went off. And so they both yelling and calling each other names. But he used that word a lot. Remember that guy that was here a couple of Sundays ago? He got mad at me and called me the nigger. He's like, nigger. But when he wanted something from me, I wasn't a nigger because he had wanted to do a business with me, but I wouldn't do it. But anyway, go ahead.
I just feel that there's nothing that she could have said that could have provoked him to say something like that. That's just extreme, and he could have handled it better.
Oh, okay.
There was no need for him to use that word or for him to get disrespectful or loud. And
how about when she would say, yo, mama, and I couldn't hear the other stuff she was saying. Was she wrong?
well, yes, but I mean, it's all about how you react to. I mean, if someone yells at you, that doesn't mean you have to yell back at them.
Oh,
so.
okay. Give the mic to the young lady behind you. She really want to respond. What do you think about?
I'm not young.
You don't? You have an opinion about that?
I do have an opinion about that, and a few other things as well.
Ooh.
And you can ask me how old I am. I'm 61, and my 36-year-old son from Texas and his beloved are here with me this morning. Right here.
Oh, welcome.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you.
I'm a high school counselor, and one of the things I noticed with the parent situation is we used to call them helicopter parents, and now they're paratroopers. They just boom.
Yeah.
And they're raising a generation that will not take care of themselves.
Yes.
Cannot take care of themselves and will not take care of themselves. And that's a shame. And as somebody who's moving very close to retirement, it burdens me with, you know, what's the next generation of parents going to do? It gives me a lot of hope to see young people who are articulating that you're going to raise women and men who will raise independent, strong children because there's such a great need for it.
So what's wrong with the incident at Dunkin's Donut
Dunkin'
where the white
Donuts.
man was screaming nigger and the black woman was screaming your mama and whatever else she was saying from behind the counter?
You know what? I don't know. I find it appalling that people treat each other that way, no matter what they're saying or who they are.
Yeah.
And it's not appropriate, and you know, it's just, and kids see that. I mean, if there was a little kid or an adolescent or
Well, there were
somebody
definitely other people at Dunkin's Donut that saw that. And the guy even went outside and then he came back to the window and he banged on the window and gave her the finger and said it again. What does Joelle think about this?
What is
I think they're both wrong for going back and forth, but I don't fault him for just calling her a name. I don't think the N word or the B word, they're just names anyway.
You black people are sellouts, huh? I'm creating Uncle Tom's. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me come here real fast. The young lady right there. This is good feedback, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty much with this side of the room. I feel like when I hear people go at it like that, the words don't matter. If you look behind it, that's literally just two little demons trying to fight over which one is the strongest.
Yes.
That's really all it
Amazing.
was. And he just had to keep going by banging on the window. It just goes to show how, like, deep into the darkness they both really are, because she's jeopardizing her job. Like, she's that caught up in her anger that she doesn't realize she's affecting her livelihood.
Yeah.
So I think that, like I said again, those forces you talk about, they're very strong. And you have to be aware when it's happening, because she's probably going to lose her job.
I know.
And that guy's going to probably go to work the next day and be fine.
Unless they put it on YouTube. If they put
That's
that
true.
on YouTube, he's out of work too.
That's true.
Yeah, even before the black woman, because they're going to say, oh, that was racist.
And the black girl's just being typical, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. The white guy was kind of acting out of character. So he might actually get it worse than her. You're correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Did you have your hand about this?
No, not about this.
What was it about? You had a while back.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's completely different.
Oh,
So-
well, hold that thought.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
I just wanted to say I'm probably the most racist person here, and even
We know.
I
And you're a
disavow.
Mexican, right?
Yeah, I totally
A
disavow.
Mexican racist.
Yeah, I totally disavow everything that guy did. We ought to have a degree, or we ought to have just civility, and outbursts like that, unacceptable. No reason for it.
And that's coming from David Duke.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
What do you think about that, my friend?
I agree with everyone else.
You do? Have you ever wanted to scream out when someone treated you in a bad way? You wanted to go off,
More or less, yeah.
but you hold back?
I've let out a few times.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
What do you think about that situation? Your sister?
Yeah, I mean, no matter who you're dealing with, I think you can keep your calm. I've never heard this kid yell in my life, I don't think.
You have not?
No.
We got to get him to yell. There's something wrong with that. He yells at home when
He's
no one's
just the
listening.
most chill person. You can tell just by,
Well, I definitely like his personality.
Yeah.
He's like open and whatever. Doug, what do you think about this situation? And then I'll tell you my little 2 cents about it.
I mean, without seeing it, it's kind of hard to say, but I have to agree with probably a lot. It's just two angry people yelling at each other, and I mean, I think probably everybody in here has done the same thing. I know I have.
You call somebody a nigger?
Sometimes.
What?
Sometimes.
You say nigger?
I have.
Amazing. And he's half white and black. All right.
Only half of me is mad at a time that way.
Okay. What do you think about that? I'm going to ask a white person. 2 white people, then I'm done. Over here and over there. The young lady, yes. What do you think about that? The guy using that word, she's saying what you couldn't really hear what she was saying, but she was definitely going off in the background. But you could hear him really loud. What do you think about that? Just based on what I've said about it, what do you think about it?
I think that he should have figured out why everyone was upset because he was holding up the line. And I think he should have diffused the situation by not responding to whatever she was saying.
How about
and
the
I think he
N-word?
should have left.
Should he have used the N-word?
No,
Why not?
because it's an ugly word and I don't think people need to use it.
Oh.
I think he should have left though, because I wouldn't condone anyone being treated that way in a place of business.
Okay.
If she's going to act like that, then he should have taken his money elsewhere. That's all.
Okay. And the last word on it. What do you think about it? This your first time here? Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Let her. Well, welcome. You're from Texas?
Yes.
Right on. And how did you hear about us?
We watch your videos all the time. We love you. It's made a big impact on our relationship, too.
Oh, right on.
If he talks about someone at work that upset him, I'm like, but do you love them?
There you go. That's right. And how long you been married?
We're not married. Working on it. I'm working on it.
Are you living together?
Yeah.
Beta.
I couldn't wait to tell you.
Beta.
I couldn't wait to tell you that.
No, I'm realizing that now. I'm fairly new coming back to, to God. And since I've come back to him, I have this pressing urge, like, you can't keep living like this. I know that's not right.
That's right.
And so it's something that I will be rectifying very soon here.
Right on. In the meantime, don't sleep together. All right? Just don't do that so you can come together in the right way.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Talk about how it's, it poisons you almost. It's like an addiction. You become addicted to each other.
That's right.
I've seen that. You're right about that.
You have on a Father's Day shirt?
Yes, absolutely.
I like you, man.
I love you, Jesse.
You can sleep together.
I try not to be a temptress.
But good, okay. So are you going to be getting married soon?
Yes.
Oh, good. Right on. So what do you think about this situation at Dunkin's Donut?
I think that I like what she said about, it was just a white person responding, being upset, because I feel like they let the N-word affect them so much. So that's why people use it.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't affect you, they're not going to say it. Like,
That's
cracker
right.
doesn't affect me, so no one calls me that. You know
That's
what I mean?
right.
So I think it's just two people that let something bother them that they should have brushed off. We've learned that a lot. To not let little things upset you. So,
Excellent.
yeah.
I'm watching this, I'm thinking these are just words. These are words that angry people use in marriages, in friendships, in workships, and all kind of shit. When you're angry, the whole intent is to hurt. And so you're going to find the words that are going to hurt you. It has nothing to do with racism or sexism or homophobism or Islamophobism or deadbeat dadism. It's just angry people trying to hurt one another. And that's the way I saw it. But the children of the lie would take that video and they would use it against the white man. They would not use it against the black woman for calling him names, whatever she was saying, right? But they would use it against him to destroy him. But it's what all angry people do. That's why we have to overcome the anger. Whatever, even with my employees, when they get angry at me and they hate me, they might not say it out loud, but I know they are thinking, nigga. This nigga. I know they're thinking it, but they get fired if they say it. But you can just feel that they're thinking it. But that's what angry people do. It's not personal. I mean, you're trying to hurt each other in that fallen state, right? But we got to stop allowing the children of the lie to use that against us, because that's what angry people do. And we've allowed them to fire people, especially white people. They want to destroy white people, because if they can destroy white, conservative, Christian men and women, it's over for the country. Really, because they're the only ones who are holding this country together right now. And if they can get rid of Christian men and women who are white, it's over. Socialism, communism, and all would take over just like that. That's why they do it. So they're trying to wipe out every white, even the ones they're supposed to love, they're trying to wipe out every white person in order to destroy the country. And so we got to stop. And you guys and ladies, you all wait, so you see what's going on. You got to start speaking up about it. Don't be afraid. It's everyone who has anger is subject, as Mary said, you're subject to call names like that. Satan is your daddy. You can't help it. You want to hurt when you're angry. You regret it later when the anger passed, but that's what happens when you're in that state. So when they say that this is racism, the guy was mad, the woman was mad. As a matter of fact, the woman was in the wrong, to be honest with you. Because if you're working at an establishment, you don't have room to go off on the customer. No matter what the customer says to you, you have to provide service and be kind and provide service. You can't go off on the customer. So she was really wrong as an employee. The customer is always right. Last word. Where's Esteban? Esteban quit already? One thing about the Mexicans, they quit before the hour's up. It's lunchtime. That's why James fired him. Look at him. He's supposed to be holding the mic, and he's getting coffee. That's Esteban without Joelle and James. Yes.
I just want to say I understand your point about using the word to reduce its effect and to basically weaken it. But I don't know if it's working because the isms are still flying around. The racism. Everyone still gets called that.
Right.
So I
Well,
don't know if it's working to reduce the power of the word by using it over and over again.
It's working for those who have overcome anger.
Okay.
And they're not subject to words any longer, right?
Mhm.
Because when you're angry, you're subject to your environment, your outer environment, which are words and whatever else. You're looking for love and all that. But once you overcome, that's why you hear the type of feedback you're getting now, because they'll overcome that anger, and so they see that words are not important. They can't bother you. And so that's how you overcome it. Then you start speaking up. You stand up and speak up because you're not afraid. You're not emotionally damaged by words.
I absolutely agree. I just think that so many people are so angry still that
Yes.
it's not working on most people.
That's why we have to get the word out. You
Yeah.
you gotta forgive. That's why I want you to tell your family members and your friends and whomever else, you got to overcome that fallen state of anger because you're separated from God. Satan is your daddy and he's destroying you. Because it's not normal. Just think about it. Somebody can say a word to you, it affects you. That's not normal. That is beta. But when you forgive and return back to the kingdom of heaven within, they can call you whatever they want and you won't move. You're not moved by it. But you got to drop the anger. Anger is not good. It's evil. You're subject to your environment. That's how you overcome it. God said be in the world but not of it. And the way you do it, you got to return to Him by forgiving your parents first and forgiving yourself. Don't hold on to anything. Last thing, because we're totally out of time. Joelle and I was talking, oh yeah.
We're out of time. We can wait for next week.
Is it about you?
No.
Is it about somebody else?
It's about the Bible.
It's about the Bible?
Yeah.
Okay, ask me about the Bible. That's a good question.
All right.
Well, in a few of your videos, I've noticed you mentioned that Christ is our brother.
Yes.
And in this God over Christ, Christ over man, man over woman, I was just wondering if you could explain a little bit about how to look at Christ, because lots of people have been taught and lots of people think that Jesus, God, and the Holy Spirit, the Holy Trinity, are all the same. And I've noticed in some of your videos you say that no, God the Father is above Christ, and I'm just a little confused on what you're meaning by that. And like, should we be praying to Jesus or should we be praying to God?
To God.
Yeah.
Well, Jesus is your big brother, and your Father God sent Him to make a way that you could return back to Him, because prior to that there was no way to get back to God. And so just as God lived in you, He lives in Christ as well. And so it was through Christ that God was working to make all these things happen. And so that's why Christ said, why do you worship me? It's not me, it's the Father who sent me. It's not me, it's the Father that's in me. And greater work shall you do as I have done. Because once you return back to God, you become His son or daughter, He dwells in you, and there's amazing things that can happen through you. And so He was never God, He's the Son of God. But when you see the Father, you see Him, because the light of the Father is shining through Him. And that's why you can see Him. But the people took Him, like they do most people. They do it to the entertainers, they do it to popular preachers, they do it to drug dealers, men do it to women. They've turned them into gods. And so whomever you put over you like that will control you. But He is our brother. He said that everything that He owned, we own it too, because we are His brothers and sisters. He is not God. He's never said He was God. But in that fallen state, human beings tend to do that to people they look up to. And it's a horrible thing to do for yourself and to the people.
So like when you're praying and you go, in Jesus' name I pray, amen.
You can say that if you want, because you're showing appreciation for your brother. And because you believe your brother, you believe God. Because He was telling you the truth, right? And through Him, you can go back to the Father. You were like, if you believe what I'm telling you and don't doubt, then it's through me you can get back to the Father. Because you believe the truth, and the truth is God. It wasn't Jesus' truth. It was the Father that dwells in him. Do you believe that God is in you?
Yes.
And can you see you his son?
Yes.
Does that make you God?
No.
The same thing with Christ. But we've been told that, and all those people who believe that he is God would never return to God because they believe in something that's not true. He even said, don't make me into a God. What do you think about that?
Been thinking about it all week, actually. Yeah. So,
and don't let me convince you either.
Yeah.
Because if you don't see it for yourself, it's not yours. You won't know what the truth is.
Mm-hmm.
But think on it. Do what you do. Watch, pay attention. Ask God to reveal it to you, and he will. Jesus is our brother. Those who believe in God.
When people are saying like the Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, they're conflating all of them the same thing, but different parts of it, right?
I don't know. It's kind of dumb. But what it is, God's nature is in the Holy Spirit. He's working on behalf of God. He is a worker for God, right? Mm-hmm. But he is not God. He teaches us all things because he has the mind of God. Likewise with Christ. But he is not God. He's the Holy Spirit sent by God.
Yeah. Things are becoming clear. I just wanted to hear your thoughts on it.
I'm glad you asked, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to mention, people say, well, you tell people not to read the Bible. I tell people not to study the Bible. Pick it up, read it, put it away, because the Word of God is written in our hearts. But if you learn the Bible, you would never know the Word of God. You know the Word from God, but you don't know the words of God. It's a spirit that made a home with us. Mm-hmm. And it's the Holy Spirit. He teaches us all things. But we've been dumbed down in the wrong way. Good question. I'm glad I came back to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Last comment here. Well, my friend, he had his hand, so we ain't leaving here.
What does it mean that Jesus says, I am the truth, the way, and the light?
Because the Father dwells in him. And so if you believe him and don't doubt him, it's through him, that belief, that allows you to go back to God. To believe in God.
So the narrative of born of a virgin, did all the miracles, that was all, you believe it happened?
Yes.
Because he was sent by God?
Yes. One man doubted God and we fell into hell. One man believed God and we have a way back to heaven. Right here on earth.
So he lived a sinless life?
Christ did? Yes. And so shall you when you drop the anger, because you're going to come back to him, and in his nature is perfect. There is no sin. You're going to have his nature, a sinless nature, because you're his son, and you won't sin either. And the sin is not the alcohol, the sex, the drugs, the lies, the video game. The sin is man playing God, man or woman playing God. Judging yourself and others is what a God would do. You judge. So when you stop judging, you're no longer playing God. Then you can be a son or know God as your father. So that's why you got to stop judging yourself.
Sure.
That makes sense? Okay.
Thank you.
Good, man. Amazing. Oh, let me just tell you this about Joelle. I know I'm done, guys. Look at all the workers. They're like totally taking off work. They look like they're standing at the borders trying to come over. But Trump is not going to let y'all in. Can he feed us? Nope. But one quick thing, Joelle will ask me about, I know Ed, Joelle will ask me about, he realized that life is so simple that it's hard for him to believe it and accept it. And it really is. It's amazingly simple. For example, if you don't know what to do, do nothing. Just do what you're doing, do nothing else. Don't go into your mind trying to figure out what to do next. If it's not clear, do nothing. Do nothing. Don't try to figure out what to do next. You will see what to do. That's how simple life is. All right? So I appreciate your patience. I see the white folks on the run. All right, bye, Ed and Brenda. Leave your donations. So let me do this. Thank you all for tuning in so much. I absolutely appreciate it. When we have counseling, best counseling service on this side of heaven. If you need it, you can go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-BOND. We counsel with all people. We need your donations, so don't forget to donate. We have different books and all that kind of stuff that every dime we get goes back into what we're doing. Tune into the show tomorrow. Anything else I'm leaving out? No? Ernest? No. Okay. So here's the deal, folks. Drop your anger. Forgive so that God can forgive you. He'll bring you back into the kingdom of heaven within, and then you can live. Your eyes will open and you can live. This is for men and women, boys and girls, all right? And thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. Amazing.